All right, last Friday I did a video on the 2400, the S2400. I was mostly talking about the sequencer and how I feel like it could be much better. I got a lot of comments of people telling me you don't know how to work with the machine, this and that. And I understand that I might have been a harsh video on the S2400. So today I'm going to make a video on things that I love about the machine, because I do like this machine. It's not that I don't like it just because I talked about the sequencer. And actually, you know, the S2400 crowd is fierce, man. Like I got a lot of comments of people disagreeing with me, and I even got an email. It was a good email teaching me how to work with the shift function. And you know what? I'm going to touch on that at the end of the video, okay? I'm going to talk about the sequencer once again. But today I just want to show some love to this machine because it's a great sampler, all right? There's some people saying like, thank you for making the video because I was about to buy it. I don't want to put anyone off from buying a sampler. You got to understand that the channel is about my interaction with the sampler. So it's always very biased towards the way that I work, okay? So you should always test machines for yourself. Sometimes when I buy a sampler, a lot of people tell me don't buy it because of this and that, but I have to try it and I have to play with it so I can make my own decisions, all right? In any case, today, just so we clear some of these things, I like the machine, I like the sampler, and I love to work with it. I just feel the sequencer could be better. So today is about things that I love. Let's say 10 things that I love about it. I didn't even count, I got a few of them. So let's start. First of all, I actually love that I have a step sequencer, okay? I do love this. I love to input notes because I love to program things. And the idea of having a step sequencer that you can quickly just put a step in, to me is great, actually. So a sampler with a step sequencer, for me, it's always a plus. It's really good. The filters, they sound really nice, and these are digital, they're not analog, okay? And not just the sound, but that they're accessible straight from here. They have their own encoders right here. It's easy to reach at any time. You can change the filter. Love it. I absolutely love this. You also have analog filters. That's another thing. On the back, you got some analog filters that you can send your sounds through. So plenty of options here. You can just pick outputs without filters, outputs with filters, and there's two types of analog filters on the back. But I love these digital filters right here. Okay, of course it's a 12-bit. Of course the sound is great. Everyone talks about that. That's one of the reasons why you should definitely buy this machine. There's a warmness. It's a very warm machine. It's a very warm sampler. One of the things about the machine is how simple it is. And not that it's the same workflow, but comparing it to an Excel, sample, chop, sequence, done. That's what this machine does. There's no, there's a new effects card that you can put into it. This one doesn't have one. Okay, and I like the machine that way, actually. It's very simple to work. I love that. Although I would love to have a reverb sometimes on my snares, but I can use my outputs because this has 8 outputs. Another great thing about the machine, it has 8 outputs, which means you can send other samples through a reverb and it's done. Inputs and outputs, check it out. You have 2 inputs. You got 2 inputs for the phono in and 2 inputs as the as jack, just a normal jack. Not many samplers have that. Doesn't have that, the live. It's sometimes rare to see that in some samplers, have 2 inputs. I love that. I can send different signals and receive from different signals at the same time. The workflow of this machine. I love the fact that you're always on these faders. The quickness, you got a pitch right there. You got an envelope right there. You got this slice right there. Volumes. And I mean, I just love the workflow, honestly. Sometimes I feel like some things could be a bit simpler, okay? But overall, it's a very fast workflow. It's very hands-on, you know? That's one of the things I really love about the machine is the workflow. It's kind of addictive once you start working with it and having that nice little sound with these filters, the simplicity of the machine. It's a different workflow. That's one of the things I love about trying new samplers. They offer a different perspective on how to work with samples. This is a prime example of that. It's a whole different workflow. I dig the workflow, all right? So again, like this video is about me showing some love for this machine, which I like a lot. Browsing. One of the things I love about this, and some other samplers do this too, the MPC doesn't, and I've been wanting them to make this for a very long time. So if I have a snare, I can just go to the browser and go through other sounds in the browser, and it automatically plays the sound from the browser. It's a great experience because on the MPC, you have to load a sample, try the sample on a pad, and if you don't like it, you press undo, go back to the previous one. Do the same thing again for another snare. So the idea that you can just preview straight from the folder, that to me is magnificent. And Akai should step on this sort of workflow because the idea of having to load a sample in to test it, let's load a snare, test it, don't like it, another snare, load it in, is just very slow. It's old. Change it. Change that. Another great thing about this machine, you can use it as an interface. So this can become the interface of your computer, the interface of the MPC. Although they work at different sample rates, this is something that Akai should do. Give the option for a variable sample rate. Probably that's never going to happen, but at least the ability to change between 48 and 44. This works at 48. This one works at 44. So what I have to do is to, on the software, you can change to 48. So this can become the interface of the MPC. Use it for whatever you want. This, powered by USB, you can send all these, outputs, or each individual channel track, I should say, into a DAW. I love the idea that you can copy pads. This seems like very childish, but I love copying pads. That's my workflow on the MPC. Chop something, copy a pad, do a different design on a sample, copy a pad. You can do the same sort of workflow in here, and I like that. The idea of copying pads is really nice. The build quality on this is top notch, man. It really is. Another thing that I love about it is the fact that I can easily map my MPC or a keyboard or whatever it is to these buttons right here. So the MIDI mapping to these pads is super easy. I was very happy that it wasn't a struggle. It was actually very simple. You just go into the MIDI mapping and just tell it to trigger, tap on the pad, and whatever pad you want automatically triggers this pad right here. So the MIDI mapping of this thing, perfect. And again, let's now jump to the sequencer. I gave you an overall of the things I love about the machine, which to me, it's a very fast machine to work because there are not that many things that you can do here. You got your filters, you got, of course, all your options here for slicing, for pitch, envelope. So it's in its essence, it's a simple machine, packed with a very powerful workflow. Let's get into this issue of the step sequencer that I was talking about the other day. All my comments on the last video, they were teaching me that you can shift a nudge a note. I don't think I ever mentioned that you couldn't nudge a note. You can nudge a note, but you have to do it in the step program, and you gotta go here, tell what step you want to nudge, and then you have a shift function right there. My whole thing is that you can do it from the screen. The thing is that is too many steps for something that if you have a step sequencer, can be achieved very, very simply. The whole thing is that it's just too much work for a nudge, okay? So I'm going to give you the example of the MPC, but a lot of samplers work like this. Ableton works like that. The Move works like that. The P6 from Roland works like that. The new that just came out, the Roland T1000, works like that. Most of the step sequencers that I work like that. They have us making these steps in the screen here, and then you have to press shift and this, and then you have to change resolution to get a deeper nudge. Like if you want to just nudge a little bit, you don't want it to nudge to the next step, You have to zoom in and then change that note. So all that work is, I'm sorry, but it's not for me. It's something that I don't like. And I got to work around for that. I actually started making things in a different way. Kick, let's say we do this right there. Just doing 1 bar snare. So far, you can do this on the S2400. Let's say this. Let's put this down. On most sequencers that I know, you just grab the step. See how that changed? That's velocity, okay? This is how easy it is to change things on a step sequencer, okay? This is how step sequencers normally nudge or change velocity, which is very simple. Just hold a step down, and then you got the velocity, and the Kai should also create a pop-up just to nudge something, or at least give us the ability to change with the but that has to be on an update, okay? But we do have this screen that allows us to do this. So just pick the step, and notice that if I tap on a step, it doesn't disappear like the on the S2400. Also notice this, if I pick a step and I nudge, just because I'm taking it off the resolution of the sequencer, right? It's off the grid right now because I nudged it. It doesn't disappear. It stays there, right? It stays there, okay? It doesn't go away. And I know that it doesn't disappear from the sequencer of the S2400. I know that, but it's at a different resolution. So you gotta be changing resolution each time. It's not a very friendly workflow, let's say it like that. So typically this is how you would want a step sequencer to work. Okay, so that's my video. I wanted to share some love on this machine. It definitely deserves it. It's a powerful workflow. It's a great sound. It's simple. There's no plugins. Oh, this is another thing I love is that, you know, it's just this. There's no plugins. There's nothing in there. It's something that's happening to the MPCs. It gets more and more and more updates. It starts to become what people would call a DAW. And it's great that it has everything that you ever need, almost. But at the same time, it loses that essence of the MPC at the beginning of just being a very simple workflow and very fast. Now it starts to become this, even though they got buttons for everything, which it's good that they did that. Having buttons for everything makes it easier to quickly jump to things. And this MPC is nothing but a mirror of what the MPC is becoming. So it's very powerful, but then it lost that thing of just being a simple sampler. And this has that. So I love that. It's just that. You got your filters, you got your sequencer, you got your sample, your chop, and that's all you need. You make great music with this thing. When it comes to the step sequencer, please update the sequencer to look more like this, like other sequencers where you grab a note from the step and then you get a pop-up on the screen, or you can just do something with your arrows. That's what I want. I never mentioned in my previous video that you couldn't nudge. You can nudge, but you can't nudge from the step sequencer, which to me, it would make life way easier. Crowd of the S2400, come on, man. This is just my opinion, all right? It's my opinion. And I know I got a channel. Sometimes it may seem like I'm trying to destroy a machine. I'm not. I'm not, all right? This is a beast right here, all right? You have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Got to make some videos with that 2500, all right? Peace. Bye.